So in this video here, I want to run through the new service calendar with you guys, and also this new calendar here that we've added and kind of the workflow between this calendar and the service calendar or the technician calendar is what we could also call it. But this calendar here is going to be our intake calendar. So it's basically designed similar to like a Teams calendar or like your Outlook calendar to where, you just have your days of the week. We can view it by day, work week, or month, and obviously just the regular week. And we have all of our hours down the left-hand side here. But basically, the purpose for this and the idea behind it was to give you guys, a place just to, schedule customers. Like, for example, they call in, they want to schedule a service. They tell you they're going to bring their unit by. Obviously, at this point, we don't really know much of the work order details. We haven't had a chance to check out the unit, obviously. But we just want to put the customer on a calendar just as a placeholder. So what we can do here is just click on a spot where we want to schedule them. And obviously, you don't need to, it's not set in stone wherever you schedule them. We can obviously drag and drop these around after the fact. But we will come in here and let's say we want to schedule this guy in for noon on Friday. We'll click the box, and all we need to fill in is a title and a customer. So there's minimal information you need to get them on the calendar, which is obviously going to be beneficial given you're not going to know too much information at this point. Um, so we can just put a title here, and you can even put the customer name again in the title just so it's more visible. Um, we'll add our customer. And then there's a spot if you want to add the unit, you can. Like if you know this information, you can put it in, start and end time. And we have a description box if you want to like put a bit of a breakdown of, if the customer might have given you some information on the phone or and whatnot. But this is all we need. So let's save it. Now it's on the calendar and you'll see it's highlighted blue. So when it's blue, it just means that it's just a customer scheduled. And when it's green, those are it tells you that it's actually a work order and it's been committed. Um, so now when we want to turn it into work order, let's say, the unit was dropped off, we're able to check it out. We know kind of the work order details now. What we can do is come back to this scheduled customer, click on that square, come over to the work orders tab, and then we can kind of build out our work order from here, assign it to our technician, and then build out our segments. Let's add another one. Service code, our hours, and then we can commit it. And then once we commit it, it's going to automatically transfer that work order onto our tech calendar here, and it's going to drop it in to that text row on that day that we had them scheduled for. So you see here, Friday, May 1st, we assigned it to a deal. Those segments are now dropped into this square here on Friday, May 1st for a deal. So you can see both of our segments here automatically. So the tech knows, so then it's in the tech's visibility to where they need to work on it. And we can drag and drop these around from within the day section here too. So if you want to change the priority of how you want the segments worked on, we can do that. And then obviously we can see our capacity here at the top. So we can see he's over capacity 12 of 11 days. We can drag and drop this out to make more room. So if I wanted to drag this segment out to the next day to kind of accommodate some room, if I wanted to drag and assign one of the segments out to another tech for whatever reason, we can do that. So it's flexible. You guys can make changes on the fly. I know things aren't always set in stone like we hope them to be. So we can make any adjustments we want here when everything's already on the calendar. Um, and then from this side here on our work, we have all of our work orders listed here. So if you guys wanted to assign work orders, directly off the service calendar, not necessarily from the intake calendar, we have all of our work orders listed here too. So what we can do is find a work order, drop it down, let's view our segments. So we can see our segments here, and we can drag and drop them out as they are. So if I want to drag and drop this out and assign it, that'll assign it to the tech. But we can also break these segments up. So for example, this segment here, say I wanted to break it up into different parts to maybe, break it out on different days. I could give 3 hours on the one day and then break up for 3 hours on the next day, or give 3 hours to another technician. We can break these segments up. So if I click on it here, we can break this down. So we can break it up into however many parts we want. Let's break it up into two 3-hour parts. So now we have our two 3-hour segments. So we can drag and drop this out and assign them however we want to, the two parts. So now we have, in this instance, we have, numerous techs working on the same job. So we can do that to kind of accommodate capacity and accommodate people's schedules as well. Um, and then just kind of some logistic stuff. We have some filters at the top here. So if you want to filter down by location, particular technician, work order status, or document status, we can filter the calendar down by those ways there. And that's also going to filter down your work orders column here. And again, similar to the intake calendar, we can view by day, week, as you just saw, and we can view by month as well. So a bunch of different views there, and we can also view some of the work order details off the calendar as well. So if you want to, get a deeper insight into the work orders that are on the calendar, we can always click here, open up our work order details. We can see all the basic information on that work order. We have all of our work order activity here on the far right. So all your work order history is going to be stored here. And then we can see all of our segment information. We can edit it, add new segments, view all of our segment information, pictures, attachments, comments, checklists, all those kind of stuff, parts, all that kind of stuff. So we can view all that information on the work order with a couple clicks. And yeah, that's the gist of everything I wanted to show you guys. Obviously the idea behind the two was they work together, the whole workflow from, the customer calling in to, the tech actually working on that work order and completing it. So we have that whole workflow, but obviously you guys can use these calendars however you'd like. If you want to use the intake calendar on its own, you can obviously use that on its own. It's going to have all your work orders are going to stay here. So when you turn them into a work order, they're still going to save here. So you can still, drag and drop these around and view the information on them. So if you prefer just living out of here, you can do that too. And then same for the service calendar. If you guys just kind of want to work off the service calendar and just kind of assign work orders directly from here without kind of the workflow between the two, you obviously can do that as well. As I showed you previously, you can just drag and drop these out to assign from the column. So it's pretty flexible, but we wanted to, create something that seems to match, everyone's workflow. And that was the idea behind adding the intake calendar, alongside the new service calendar. So, yeah, let me know if you're interested in kind of taking a further look, and yeah, I'd love to help you out. Thank you for watching.